Because he's sneaky, right? That Titans playoff loss to Mike Mularkey, but I don't think that was off a bye. I think that was a wild card round game. So the Steelers took him out the year before. I'm going to guess Mike Tomlin. I'm probably wrong.
If you had gotten this, I genuinely would have genuflected. The answer, stunningly, is Ben McAdoo.
Look at Ben.
Who did it in Week 11 of the 2017 season. We are keeping score. I've known Hembo a long time. That one was unfair.
It wasn't even McAdoo's good year. That was the next year.
Yes,
yeah.
the great McAdoo season of 2017. That was one just completely unfair question. That's my opinion. Meanwhile, let's look ahead to this weekend with some either-ors. We got good matchups. Dominique, let's start with you. You got the Rams defense or Aaron Rodgers? Who you got?
It's a tough one, but I think I'm going to go with the Rams defense. I think that teams build their defenses around one player like Aaron Donald if you have him. They got a player as good as Aaron Donald, and they also have a player as good as Jalen Ramsey. That's two future Hall of Famers on the defense. Everyone really gives a lot of respect to Staley, the defensive coordinator, and he deserves it. But it's hard to make a bad defensive call when you got those two guys on the field at all times.
Okay, so that's one good matchup. Here's another. Graziano, Tom Brady, Drew Brees. Who you got?
I'm taking Brees. I'm devastated. I just realized I covered that game where McAdoo beat Andy Reid. I should have got that. I got Brees. Look, I think he's in last stand mode. I think his team is better. I think his team is more playoff seasoned than Brady's right now. I think it's got a better chance to be their year than Tampa's. Give me Brees this weekend over Brady.
Okay, you and I are going to debate which team is better in a little while. Meanwhile, D. Wood, let me come to you. Buffalo and Baltimore is a great matchup of these two young quarterbacks. Who you got, Lamar or Josh Allen?
I'm going with Josh Allen. Josh Allen is like Steph Curry on fire. It's just insulting how arrogant he is out there on the football field. He can beat you in the pocket. He can beat you outside the pocket. And some of these throws you see him make out there on the field, man, you just don't see many quarterbacks that's able to do those type of things.
He's been spectacular. Frankly, both these young quarterbacks have been spectacular. I want to play you what Lamar Jackson was saying yesterday about how well he's been playing these last few weeks.
Attacking the game more, being more aggressive. I would say at the beginning of the season, I was conservative a lot. Just stand back and getting sacked a lot more. But as the season went on, things break down. My first read not there, second read's not there. I take advantage of what the defense gives me.
Guys, I'm old enough to remember when the Ravens had lost their offensive identity and they didn't know what they were trying to be, and they were trying to make Lamar Jackson into something he wasn't, and then he gets COVID, and then all of a sudden, he's playing as well as he ever has. Dominique Foxworth, how do you explain it?
I think Lamar Jackson is wrong. I love to hear him speak. Every time he speaks, it makes me very happy. But that particular time, I disagreed. He could have stopped his comment at I take advantage of defenses. Not what they give me, it's what he's taking. Because honestly, if you rewatch that game and several of the games, the teams aren't giving him the plays that he's making. They have spies. They're blitzing to the side that he likes to run to. They're playing coverage in certain situations. And he's making plays like that touchdown run, and especially that run to close out the game against the Titans. Like, those were not the defense giving you. No defense is walking out here saying, you know what? We're going to make Lamar Jackson beat us with his legs. That's exactly the opposite of what they're doing, and he's doing it anyway.
And Damien Woody, I'm going to appeal to the offensive lineman in you, because this is a stat Elias put out the other day. The Ravens in their last 6 games have rushed for almost 1,600 yards. It's the most of any team in a 6-game stretch since 1949. That's what they are doing right now, and that, D. Wood, is the key to their success.
Hey, Greeny, I'm about to walk off this set. Let me go get my helmet and stuff and strap up, because this is the type of ball that I'm talking about. Just smash mouth type of football, ground and pound. And listen, when you got the most dynamic athlete on the field playing the quarterback position, it's just really hard. It's 11-on-11 football out there. And you got to give a ton of credit to Greg Roman. They seem like from the beginning of the year, they finally found their groove, their identity, and identify what they want to do schematically. And Lamar Jackson is just running wild all over the place. This is a formula, Green. I've said this before the playoffs. I don't think nobody wants to play the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs, because the way they run the ball is scary.
We also talked about how they can't come from behind. Well, they were down 10-0 this past week and came from behind. What are you hearing around the league? Two red-hot teams.
Yeah, I mean, look, I talked to some people in Tennessee. Obviously, they're crushed, but they sort of had the idea that Baltimore's a little better than they're seeded, and were surprised the job the defense did on Derrick Henry. And I think that's obviously underrated in a lot of this, how healthy their defense is now and how tough that's going to be. You talk about how they run the ball. I mean, I was there in Cincinnati a couple weeks ago. They ran for over 400 yards. I never even heard of such a thing. It's only happened 7 times. Bills were a little wobbly against the run against the Colts last weekend, and I think Baltimore might be positioned to take advantage of it.
The Bills were a little wobbly in a lot of ways last weekend. Their quarterback bailed them out of a few different moments. This sets up to be one of the really fascinating matchups. But what Lamar Jackson has done, what that team has done to turn him back in the correct direction, I think has been remarkable over the last 2 months. Much more NFL as we go. But I want to go back all the way back to Monday night. Seems like an awful long time ago when Alabama won its 6th national championship of the Nick Saban era, routing Ohio State 52-24. And among the different things I saw in reaction was a tweet from Chris Felica. You all know him as the Bear from College Game Day. If you watch him there, he's an outstanding researcher at ESPN. And he tweeted this: there have been 21 games played in the CFP. 17 of them have been won by Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State. He then goes on to talk about the possibilities of expanding the playoff, but that was really the part of this I wanted to focus on, and I take a look at that, because think about that. Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State have won 17 of the 21 all-time games in the playoffs. Now you fast forward. Caesars Sportsbook by William Hill. The early odds are on for next season. This should come as no surprise. Look at the top. The favorites are Alabama and Clemson and Ohio State. So I want to bring Reese Davis and Paul Feinbaum in because you guys cover this sport and you love it. And I love it too. And I want to pose like a 2-part question to you, Reese Davis. Do we perceive the top heaviness of the sport right now to be a problem? And if so, what could fix it?
The second part is really
who could rewrite his entire legacy in the next 3 weeks. We'll explain. Then, Houston, you have a problem, and that is the best player you've ever had wants out. Now what do? We've got the very latest. And then, the news on Kyrie Irving becomes more and more of a concern. When is he coming back to Brooklyn, if ever at all? Answers to those and other questions as we get up with you starting right now on a Wednesday from the Seaport. Greeny Graziano is here with the very latest on the inside, and we've got plenty of acumen getting ready to go today. Dominique Foxworth is with us, and let's call D. Wood the maestro today, the piano virtuoso. If there's anything that I'm promising you, it is that someone will play that piano on television today. All that and more as we get this thing going. But we start with these maestros. Oh, the legendary quarterbacks on the field this weekend, beginning with Patrick Mahomes. He could make his 3rd straight AFC Championship game with a win over the Browns on Sunday. He would be the 5th quarterback ever to make it to 3 straight AFC Championship games. Brady versus Breeze, obviously, is the matchup of legends. We know 84 years of quarterback on the field there. And then Aaron Rodgers looking to make the NFC Championship game for the 5th time in his career. And as he spoke about it yesterday, you can tell he feels good about his chances.
I feel like we thought we could win it last year. That kind of hit our confidence maybe a little bit. We didn't maybe have the exact same type of belief. I feel like we have a lot of confidence this year. We believe in ourselves. Last year, we were just so up and down. I think that's been the